Dragon Ball Z was the first ever anime for a lot of anime fans thanks to its international popularity, especially among 90s kids. It's known for screaming and powering up, ass-kicking action scenes, and a whole lot of standoffs between powerful characters. Like a really long list of powerful characters. In today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the most powerful characters of the entire franchise, Omega Shenron, aka Yi Xing Long, who is arguably the most powerful villain our heroes face in the entire storyline. So without further ado, let's get started. The character of Omega Shenron is the powered-up version of Sin Shenron, who's one of the 7 evil Shadow Dragons introduced in the GT series. The Shadow Dragons are made up of the negative energy existing in the Dragon Balls. Sin Shenron is the last Shadow Dragon and one of the most selfish characters to exist in the franchise. After Mr. Popo wishes for everyone on Namek killed by Frieza to be revived, he's born, and because the wish had no evil consequences, it gives birth to the evilest Shadow Dragon. Unlike Cell, who demanded a fair fight with the Z Fighters, Sin prefers a more devious route, doing anything to ensure his win. He's a ruthless monster, willing to make his opponents suffer slowly before finally inflicting the final blow. When overwhelmed by his opponents, Sin becomes a victim to fear and worry, but he tries to hide this as soon as possible as it would betray him as weak in front of his opponents. Sin goes on to collect the Dragon Balls to increase his power. After he absorbs all the Dragon Balls, they are engraved on his chest, and because of the power from them, his strength increases on a massive scale and he becomes the Omega Shenron. Sin Shenron was a major opponent in the Dragon Ball GT series, which was a continuation of the Dragon Ball Z anime. He's the last and most powerful villain of the anime. Initially, Sin Shenron was a 1-star dragon, and despite being already powerful, he wanted more and more power thanks to his greed, which ultimately led to his downfall. Let's talk about the appearance of Sin Shenron and the Omega Shenron. Sin Shenron is a large humanoid figure with 2 large fleshy horns on his head and is many times the size of Goku. He has long spikes all over his shoulders, elbows, back, and knees. He also has all of the 7 Dragon Balls stuffed inside his torso, which could clearly be seen on his shoulders and chest. The 1-star Dragon Ball is embedded on his forehead in blue, which gives him an intimidating appearance. He's the most uncaring and evil out of all the Shadow Dragons and feels no remorse for his deeds. He could destroy anyone, even his fellow Shadow Dragons, when it comes to his goal of the destruction of the world. Sin has never fought a fair match and doesn't spare his opponents even when they're injured, taking no chances in his battle. Unlike the other dragons, he does not aspire for a worthy opponent, instead looking to defeat anyone who crosses his path. We get a glimpse of his story in the battle arc with Goku, when Goku in his Super Saiyan 4 form goes up against Omega and is still no match for him. Even after attacking Omega using his best moves, including the Kamehameha, Goku isn't able to deal significant damage to him thanks to the regenerative abilities of Omega Shenron. It was only after Vegeta joined the battle in his Super Saiyan 4 form and fused into Goku to become Gogeta that they were able to deal an attack so powerful that it brought back the Omega Shenron into its original Sin Shenron form. But another plot twist awaits viewers when we see Gogeta splitting back into Goku and Vegeta and making it even for Sin. They try to fuse again, which fails horribly, and when the dust cloud disappears, Sin has already transformed back into Omega. Omega then easily thrashes both the Super Saiyan fighters and creates an energy ball to destroy the Earth, which is stopped by Goku just in time. The story continues in the next arc when Goku battles him with the help of Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. Goku then uses universal energy from different beings of the universe to create a spirit bomb, which he uses to finally put Omega down. The evil dragon returns to his normal Shenron form and peace is restored once again on the Earth, with Shenron and Goku both vanishing and going into a dormant state for a long time. Omega Shenron had a huge arsenal of attacks which are so powerful they helped him have an upper hand almost the entire time in the battle arc with Goku and Vegeta. The following powers of Omega Shenron made him a formidable foe for the Z Fighters. Number 1. Electric Slime. The electric slime gives Shenron the ability to return back to his original form even when he's scattered. We see this ability when Omega Shenron is hit by 2 Big Bang Kamehameha waves and he still reforms his body. This makes it very difficult for anyone to destroy his body as it will reform every time. Number 2. Possession. After Omega Shenron is defeated by Gogeta, he reverts back to his original form, but he has to gather the Dragon Balls once again in order to reach his max power, as he did before. Taking this opportunity, Goku gulps down the 4-star Dragon Ball, which brought back a former enemy, Nuava. Nuava takes control over Omega Shenron and takes the corrupted Dragon Balls, which in return blows Nuava's body to bits. This way, Omega Shenron regains the last Dragon Ball once again, and this power is inherited by Natron Shenron. Number 3. Dragon Thunder. Omega Shenron uses this power, but he changes it a bit. He flies below his opponents with his back facing towards his opponents, and then he extends the spikes on his back to stab the enemy. After stabbing his opponent, he sends electricity through his spikes to electrocute their wounds. He uses this against Vegeta when he skewers his shoulder. Number 4. Minus Energy Power Ball. This is Omega Shenron's most powerful attack. The way he performs it is by pushing the negative energy of the Dragon Balls in his chest outwards. Streams of red energy are fused to form a crimson ball which appears to be yellow at the center. This ball takes up the entire sky. Omega Shenron then condenses this red-hot crimson ball to the size of his torso and launches it. In the anime, we see Omega Shenron use this attack against Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but Gogeta deflects the attack into space. The attack explodes in space, producing a planet-sized explosion which would have caused immeasurable damage to Earth if he had exploded it there. These attacks of his make it very hard for anyone to win against him. His powers give him extraordinary strength and speed, fast regeneration from injuries, and cause massive destruction to the surroundings when he uses them to fight. Moreover, he gained the ability to manipulate energy in different forms and through lethal techniques like the minus energy Powerball. Number 5. Whirlwind Spin. Omega Shenron inherits this ability from Oceanus Shenron, and he uses it exactly like he does. While using this attack, he places his hands together near him and he curls his middle and ring finger inwards, then throws them forward to generate huge blasts of wind. One downside of this power is that unlike Oceanus Shenron, whose whirlwind spin attacks would cut his opponents, Omega Shenron's whirlwind spin attacks don't cut his opponents, they're just useful in pushing them away. Number 6. The Heat Armor. This ability allows Omega Shenron to heat up to an insane temperature, which helps him to block Goku and his attacks and cause burns at the same time. His body becomes scalding hot in this phase, and it makes it impossible for any opponents to come close to him or deal any damage. Goku, along with his friends, plan a mission to defeat Shenron and reverse the negative energy of the Dragon Balls and dethrone all of the Shadow Dragons in order to retain peace on Earth. After Goku and his allies defeat 6 of the Shadow Dragons, which ranged from relatively easy to challenging, they eventually confront Omega Shenron after he absorbs the other 6 Dragon Balls. We saw earlier that this mission was extremely difficult for the Z Fighters to handle, and they faced many difficulties. But finally, a severely injured Goku gathered the collective energy of all living beings in the universe to finally finish off Omega Shenron once and for all, ending the threat of the Shadow Dragons and restoring peace on Earth. Now, let's talk about another assumption fans worldwide have been making about Omega Shenron and the Shenron being the same. We think Omega Shenron and Sin Shenron aren't the same beings, as the Shenron was once defeated by King Piccolo and used to be considered around the same level as Kami, who could easily be defeated by Omega Shenron. Omega Shenron could be described as the final form of Sin Shenron when he's in the fusion of all the Dragon Balls and their negative energy. He can't be compared to the initial form of Shenron, i.e. Sin Shenron, as he gained an insane amount of strength after the absorption. Moreover, the Shenron lives in a dormant state inside the Earth's core, while Omega Shenron draws power from the minus energy generated whenever the Shadow Dragons grant a wish, and was only formed when the Dragon Balls went haywire and gave birth to monsters like him. While Goku and his friends did defeat the Omega Shenron using their Super Saiyan forms and the energy of the entire universe, defeating him was an incredibly tough task as they almost ran out of energy several times. This makes Omega Shenron one of the most powerful villains in the entire Dragon Ball franchise, without a doubt. Omega Shenron stands as a testament of what goes wrong when immense power is grabbed by the wrong guy. His existence was a threat to the world, and the heroes of Dragon Ball had to give it their all in order to bring peace to the world. Omega Shenron was the ultimate antagonist, pushing the heroes to their limits and wreaking havoc all over the Earth while enjoying it. Although, like every antagonist, he too was defeated and the message of hope over despair prevailed, he still left a long-lasting impact on viewers and will undoubtedly go down as one of the most memorable villains in the franchise, which is evident from his appearances in Dragon Ball video games and merchandise. That's all for this video, but if you liked it, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and let us know your favorite thing about Omega Shenron in the comments down below. This is Wheezy249 signing off, but have a marvelous day.